Hey everybody, welcome to Rob's Game Group on YouTube. I'm Rob and I'll be your host through this series of videos. But first I had something that I want to get out there to everybody. I've had several viewers talk to me or message me and ask me about helping the channel, helping support the channel. And I've gotten suggestions from Patreon and I should do the coffee thing or direct PayPal. And to be honest, I don't really want to do any of that. And I've never been about monetizing the channel. But what you can do to help are three things. Like and share the videos, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content, and now, if you look in the description of every video, you will find a link to the Rob's Game Group wish list on Amazon. Check it out. If there's something on there that you want to see me review or do a look at the book of, you can purchase it. It'll be sent to me. It helps me, helps the channel, without you sending money and me having to deal with that. I would rather just get stuff to help make videos that you guys want to see, guys and gals. So that's there. It's going to be in every video. Be sure to go check it out. You can also make suggestions to me in the comments if there's other games and stuff and products on Amazon that you want me to check out. I can add them to the list as well. You can just comment, or you can message me on Rob's Game Group on Facebook. Link to that is also going to be in the description. So that's just a way that you guys can help me help you with videos that you want to see. And speaking of videos, let's go check this one out. So in this video, I'm going to be answering a question from a member of our community, Christopher Rush. He had responded to my latest Rob Rambles video about what kind of things you guys and gals wanted to see on the channel. And he did ask for kind of like after action reports or reports on games that we were playing, and that's coming. I actually have a new series that I'm starting called White Box Weekly, and White Box Weekly, though it may or may not come out every week, is going to be a weekly, planning to be a weekly video where I talk about my current White Box campaign that I'm going to start running in the next 2 weeks, and what's going on with it, what kind of characters we have, what kind of things they're doing in the game. And I think you guys are going to like it. I've taken some different aspects of fantasy gaming and kind of meshed them together to make the world setting that they're going to be playing in, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. But today's video is all about his question about dice. He asked about dice. What dice do I use? What dice have a special story? And to be honest, almost all my dice have a special story to one extent or another. Like most gamers that have been gaming for any amount of time, you end up with a lot of dice. Most of us do, because you can never have enough, right? And I've been doing this a long time, and I have accumulated quite a bit of dice. A lot of times, dice just end up, in jars sitting around the game room. I have taken my extra dice before and given them to my wife, who made cool things like this dice clock for the game room, which I love. But what I'm going to focus on in this video is the dice that I bring to the table every time I play currently. Now, this does change from time to time. I get new dice and swap stuff out. But currently, this is my collection of dice that I love to use, and the little bit of stories behind them. So, without any further ado, Christopher Rush, this is for you. Let's look at my dice. So I don't carry a whole ton of dice to the table when I play. These are the dice that I currently carry, and again, you know, stuff changes out from time to time when I get new dice that I want to use. So, just real quick, most of these have some simple story behind them. These two sets right here I'll start with, two regular sets of polyhedral dice. Honestly, the reason that I got these is because they're bigger print with easy to read numbers, and you know, I got old man eye, so it's beneficial to me to have big numbers on the dice. There's nothing special about them. They're just some cheap $5 sets of dice that came out a couple of years ago. I picked them up at my local game store, and I have 4 or 5 sets of these I use for various games, but this is my stuff I pull out for role playing. So we'll pull those to the side. This set right here is Cthulhu dice, and I picked these up, I believe, at Gen Con a few years ago when 7th edition came out, and I just wanted a set of Cthulhu dice, and they were affordable, so I grabbed them. They're really pretty, they roll pretty decent, but I usually only use these when I'm playing something Lovecraftian. These dice are also, I guess, they're called Mind Flayer dice. It doesn't look like it on the camera, but they're actually pretty easy to read. They are metal and hollow, so they're not heavy. They roll pretty good, and they have, I'll show you on the D4, it's easier to see on the camera, I think. They have really good detail. There's a Mind Flayer head with the tentacles and the suckers on each side of the dice, on all of them. These were sent to me by my son, who's up in Virginia in AIT, and they're just, he knows how much I love Mind Flayers, and I think they're just gorgeous. I love these dice. I've actually showed those off recently on a video. These D6s are made by Steve Jackson Games, and they do a skull set, and they do a dragon set where you have a skull on the 1 or a dragon on the 1, and then the 6 is just a regular 6. But my younger son Rod bought me these, I believe, for Christmas this past year, and I've used them quite a bit. It was either Christmas or my birthday, I don't remember. But I do remember that Rod got me both sets because he knew I liked them. And they tend to roll incredibly well. So, especially playing OSR games where you primarily use D6s for damage, these dice have been detrimental to my players' characters, and I'm okay with that. They hate these dice, I love them. Let's see. This is this is also by Steve Jackson Games. This die came. It's a bigger D6 with the Cthulhu head on the 1, and then the 6 on the other side. This came in the dice bag that Todd Wilson sent me, and I really appreciated that. I love this D6. It tends to roll really good. I like the way it feels. I like the weight on it, and a lot of times I even use it for just a counter in the game for counting down something. But that's where that die came from. Fantastic. Over here I have a D30, big green D30. I don't play a game that uses a D30. These are from the set of dice you can buy for Dungeon Crawl Classics, and the reason that I bought the set just to get this die, and then I gave the rest of the set away. But this die in particular, I wanted because when I was a kid, I sold off a bunch of comic books, which I should not have done because they are worth a lot of money now. And took my earnings and went to a game store in town that's not there anymore. Hadn't been there for many years. But I bought the second edition AD&D Complete Fighter's Handbook, which I really, really love. That's a cool book. And I bought this D30 that day, you know, just getting into the game, not really understanding how to play. And I didn't even realize that I wouldn't have a use for this D30. But I always thought it was a cool die, and it was the exact same color as this one, green with the white numbers. And I saw the DCC set of dice that had this in it, so I bought it just to get this for no other reason than nostalgia. I roll it a lot of times. I like to roll 2 dice when I'm rolling, and most of my games I just need a D6. But wow, that was horrible. Rolled a 1 on both of them. But I like to roll 2 dice at a time, and then a 20. So this one, when I roll it, it means nothing. It just gives me something to rattle the other die against in the tray. And I've always liked it. So I'll also sit and fiddle with it during a game and just kind of, you know, play roll. It has no meaning to me game-wise because I don't use it in any of my role-playing games. To me, it's just a die that I play with at the table, and I roll it with my D20s. But that's why I picked it up, was because this was the first big die I ever bought for myself, and I wanted to recapture that moment. So I did. And last but not least, these big D10s I got here, I picked up off of Etsy last year, I think. I paid about 10 or 12 bucks for them. They're really big. They're Insanity dice. And they've got all kind of stuff on them, you know, like Sleepwalker and Paranoia and PTSD and, you know, Explosive Rage and Panic Disorders, Suicidal Manias, Flee and Panic, let's see, Fainting, Babbling. I use my own custom. I basically, when I'm running Call of Cthulhu, the actual Call of Cthulhu system, I play it pretty much rules as written, but I did take the Insanity system they have and I tweaked it with my own house rules, and those do incorporate using these Insanity dice. But I also use them in other games that I can have Insanity stuff come up with the characters. I'll roll these for, you know, seeing what happens to a character who loses their mind a little bit during the game. But there you go. That's the dice that I bring to the table. And, you know, like I said, dice change out over time. I may get some new dice that I add to it or whatever. But that's pretty much the dice I bring to play. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video about my dice. If you didn't, then it's weird that you hung around this long. But, you know, if you did, that's it. Be sure and put in the comments or post on Rob's Game Group and tell me, you know, do you have special stories for your dice? Do you look at every set and you can remember where everything came from and when you got it and why you got it? You know, put it in the comments or put it on Rob's Game Group. Link for that is in the description, as always. But yeah, that's a look at my dice. Well, I hope that you found something in that video useful or something you could take away from it. Either way, I appreciate you watching this long. Don't forget that we have the link to the Amazon wish list for Rob's Game Group in the description of every video now. You can click on that, check out the wish list. If there's product on there that you want to see me review, you can always purchase it. Amazon will do all the work, ship it to me, and it helps me help me make videos for everybody to enjoy. Also like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, my friends, good gaming and good luck.